Okay, how to build a scrapbook page. Now, let's make this easy and let's go step by step. First, I'm going to have my photographs. Now, that might be 1, it might be 20, but you'll decide which ones you want to use. And we're going to start with the theme, and our theme is going to be Christmas for this example. So I've got one of my photos, and I'm going to make my paper selection. Now, I think it is easiest to use paper that's going to coordinate with my theme. Now, whether it is the red in Santa's suit and little girl's dress, or it's going to be the theme of Christmas, those are some choices. Now, if I decide to use 8x8 papers, I can get them in a paper pack. What's nice about this is that I'm going to have also some art that coordinates with my papers. So I've got lots of color combinations, lots of choices in a paper pack like this. Or I can go to a book of papers. What's nice about this is that, again, I'm going to have some coordinating papers that will all go together, which is always nice, but it also is sometimes going to give me some artwork or some alphabet tiles that will also coordinate, and it just kind of goes faster that way. A paper pack is another option, and this is one that I'm actually going to use to create this layout. This is a smaller choice of papers. There are 6 designs, but there are 2 of each one, and I can see all of the colors and combinations on the back of this. This is also 12 by 12. Another option is a kit. Now, this is called Finish in a Flash, and I recognize this one isn't Christmas. It happens to be Magic Kingdoms, but this is going to give me some other choices. On the front, I can see that I've got some brads, I've got some ribbons, I've got some larger metal characters, which are called Brad Buddies. And on the inside, not only do I have my papers, but I have some die cuts. So this is just yet another option. So I'm going to go back to my photograph, and I'm going to choose a paper out of my paper pack. And in this particular case, I'm going to choose this one. So I'm going to bring that out. And I like this because it's going to give me a lot of options. It's going to very nicely frame my photograph, and you can see what a great job it's doing there. Now, when you're using pattern papers, some of them will be subtle, like this one is. All of the busy design is over in the corners, and I've got some subtle design here. But it's really nice. In fact, it's almost a rule, if you will, that when you're using pattern papers, that you always want to mat your photograph. That's really easy to do. I'm going to take, in this case, I'm going to take a piece of red paper or red cardstock, and the process is always the same for matting. I'm going to put glue on the back of my photograph, and because my page is going to end up going in a sheet protector, I don't have to glue every single inch of the back of my photo. Now I'm going to take this over into a corner, and I'm going to offset it equally, in this case, by, about 1/4 of an inch. Now, those of you who like to measure can do that. I'm just going to eyeball it. As I stick it down, I've got 2 more sides that are too big, so I need to trim those. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, which is probably one of the most useful tools for scrapbooking. And because the bed of it will hold a 12 by 12 paper, I'm going to lift up the handle. I'm going to slide my paper, and I want to go to this groove. Let's see, let's get in tight so you can see that. That groove is my cutting area. Can you see? Okay, there is a groove, trust me, it's right there. And that's where this arm is going to lay down, and my blade is going to be nested right in that groove. So I'm going to eyeball this as I have done before. I'm going to leave about the same 1/4 of an inch. I push my paper up against this guard up here so it holds it straight, push the arm down, and then simply slide my blade, and then you can see I've got my first cut. I'm going to do the same thing to my other side, and it is recommended that you always slide your blade in the same direction. if you do that, then when that blade gets a little worn, and you can tell that because the paper will not cut crisply, you can take the blade out and turn it over and use it some more. So that's the way I do matting. Now, every now and again, I will see someone who will want to cut their matting piece separately and then glue the photograph on. I just find this works successfully for me every single time. Now, when I bring this back into my page, you can see how that frames, that matting frames my photograph. Now, you can, as you move on in scrapbooking, you can do double mats, you can do triple mats, you can change the width of the mats. Maybe the first one is narrow, the next one is wider. You have lots of choices. Sometimes they'll make a mat wider and put some embellishment on it. But for our purposes, for us as beginners, this works just perfectly. Now, the next thing I'm going to want to do is think about my story. What happened on that day? Am I satisfied with just saying, oh, this is Susie's first time she saw Santa in December 20th, 2008? Or do I want to talk about that she was nervous at first, but when she saw him, she got so excited? One of the things about scrapbooking is you have the chance to not only save the photograph, but also to save the memory, the story that happened. So depending on how much I want that to be, I will probably put it on another piece of paper. I will probably mat that and put it on the side. I can scoot my photograph over. I can have as much room as I want. Now my page could end up like this. You can see we've got our first mat in the red, but then in this case, we've done a second mat with the stripes. We've made those stripes horizontal. We've turned them that way. And then we've got another mat of dark green. Now the journaling here is a poem about children seeing Santa. So that's another thing you can do. Song lyrics also work. In this case, as you can tell, this is also matted, this time on green. And we've elected to put some ribbons, some other embellishments just on the sides. You can tell there's another ribbon here. And as we back up, you can see everything is working together. Our colors work, our paper is the same theme that's going on, and it's just a very nice presentation. It does a great job of letting us share that memory. Now, you can do your pages one at a time like this, or you can elect to make them in what we call layouts. And in that case, you will have, let me get all this stuff out of the way, you will end up having everything all around you, and you will be working in the 12 inches that you have in front of you. So as you can see, in this particular layout, it's a double page layout, we've used more photographs on the companion page. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more. We've used the same papers. We've taken a photograph, and this is a nice thing to remember. We've taken a photograph of some of the elements of the day. So the Dear Santa note that was left with the proverbial cookies and milk. We've got some of the gingerbread cookies that were made earlier in the day. We've got a photo of the fire and the Christmas tree. It could be people. And we also have a photo of those eaten cookie crumbs left and part of the milk gone, sitting under the tree with the presents that were left by jolly old Saint Nick. Now, this story that we've done as we look at the two pages together just does a really nice job of telling the events of that particular day or that time. And because we've used the same paper on both, they really coordinate nicely. We have done a nice job, too, of incorporating 4 photos here and 5 here. There's no magic to how many photos, but sometimes when you're brand new at scrapbooking, you think that for some reason it's more economical to put more photos per page. That can work if that's your choice. However, I think it's really nice to put the special photos, and you don't necessarily want to cover up every inch of your scrapbook page with photos because you want to leave room to tell the stories. And also, I have to tell you, it's really fun to do the embellishments. So let me give you a couple of other examples. Here is another single page, very simple paper. The photographs are overlapped, which sometimes that's hard to remember when you're getting started. And the companion page does a really nice job of also adding in more photos. So here we've got 4 on this page and 2 on this page. And again, they're doing just a really nice job of talking about the Christmas season. The glittering that you're seeing is a product called Dazzles. These are stickers, but they almost look like they're embossed, but they're a sticker. So it's got adhesive on it. It's all set to go. You just place it down. Now, you can also, in this next page layout, you can let your papers really take a little bit more center stage. And in the middle of this layout, you can see what's happening. It reads like this. So we've got a fun embellishment going on just with our paper. And then we've had our photographs on each side. Now, in this case, our journaling, the story, is very simple. We've just got a little bit of journaling written. This has been done with a computer, printed onto either cardstock or colored paper, cut out, and then it's been matted as you did the photograph. So we've also used, in this case, some of the paper embellishments that came with our paper packs, and we've just added those. Again, there's some more journaling right here. Now, the pages can stand alone, like this one does, or it can be part of a double-page spread. In this case, we've got 2 different papers that are being used, and that's kind of a next step. So we've got one with this wonderful ornaments that are hanging from the corner. This is all on one piece of paper. But then this stripe has been added, and then a stripe paper has been used for the companion page. So you can see that that stripe bridges the gap between the 2, and it makes them coordinate, as does the colors and the themes. Now I'm continuing to show you Christmas layouts. Here we've got one horizontal photo, and here we've got 2 vertical photos. And we've used them as pockets, and we've kind of tucked some things, some of the letters that the boys wrote to Santa that year. And that's a nice thing. You can also keep memorabilia on your scrapbook pages. Now I've got a couple more examples for you, and let me bring them in. This is a page, again, a simple page. This paper is already done for you, but look how that border also spans the 2 pages. We've got another piece of paper that we have turned on its side and trimmed to fit, and look how that same paper is going on both sides. That's a nice thing to do. All of our journaling is on one side in this particular layout. Now, you don't have to do everything in double-page spreads. You can do one album page with one photograph if you like, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, when you begin your photo album, the very first page is a single page, not 2, as you find when you go further into your album. So here's one, and then here's another, that same paper that we saw earlier that's been used for a single page. So sometimes you'll want to do a double page, sometimes you'll want to do a single page.